Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? If you have not yet heard, by now I'm sure you are aware that Tyrann Mathieu and the New Orleans Saints, reports are, have agreed to a contract that would bring the New Orleans native back home. As a matter of fact, Adam Schefter has just minutes ago tweeted the terms of the deal. So, deal is now in place. Saints and Tyrann Mathieu have officially reached an agreement on a 3-year, $33 million contract that includes $18 million fully guaranteed. Schefter notes that the language still needs to be finalized. The deal signed, but Mathieu is returning home to New Orleans. So, 3-year, $33 million, $18 million of it fully guaranteed for Tyrann Mathieu to join the New Orleans Saints. And there was much rejoicing in these parts. We all know the story. We're well aware. Tyrann's from New Orleans. He's the most electrifying player any of us have seen in our lifetimes at LSU. He's become a perennial All-Pro in the NFL for the Cardinals, the Texans, the Chiefs most recently. He's a Super Bowl champion. He's a Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee. He is one of the all-time greats that LSU has ever produced, and now he will be hopefully finishing his career in New Orleans with the Saints. So there's a couple of things that I think about with respect to this topic. If you're celebrating today, rightfully so, you should be. Tyrann is... I think the way to say it is he's the most electrifying player any of us ever saw wear the purple and gold. He made the extraordinary look routine, and that is how I define greatness. We came to the extraordinary became the expectation with Tyrann Mathieu at LSU. It was never even a question when he made a spectacular play. You just expected it to happen. We all know that the twists and turns that his life personally and professionally have taken, but what has happened is he has become one of the dominant safeties in professional football. Now, there's two things that if this were a nameless player, a nameless free agent that the Saints were looking to sign, that I would absolutely point out. So I'm going to point it out here with Tyrann Mathieu. Number one is the fact that Tyrann's going to be 30 years old later this month. He's going to be 30 later this month. Now, for running backs, 30 is a career death sentence. For defensive backs, not so much. Malcolm Jenkins is 34. He was just playing at a very high level for New Orleans. But it's worth noting, Tyrann's going into his 10th NFL season, and he's going to be 30. And the other thing, and this is always something that gives me pause, when a team doesn't sign their own free agent, when a team does not re-sign their own free agent, it always makes me wonder why, because nobody knows that player better than the organization that he plays for. It's not a situation like with Marcus Williams or Trey Hendrickson where they just got more money, like they were priced out. This is a deal where the Chiefs moved on from Tyrann Mathieu. So there's always that. I would mention that with any free agent, so I'm going to mention it with Tyrann as well. But I look at it this way. Compare Tyrann Mathieu to the player he's replacing. Compare Tyrann Mathieu to Malcolm Jenkins. Is Tyrann Mathieu an upgrade over Malcolm Jenkins? That is really the question. And when you look at these two players, especially in this most recent season, Tyrann had 76 tackles. Malcolm Jenkins had 79. Tyrann 2 tackles for loss. Malcolm Jenkins 3. Each had 1 sack. Tyrann had 3 interceptions. Malcolm just 1. Tyrann had 6 passes defensed. Malcolm Jenkins had 5. They're basically the same player. They are basically the same player. Statistically, Tyrann Mathieu, Malcolm Jenkins had almost identical seasons in 2021. The Big difference. Again, same player. Tyrann is a box safety, just like Malcolm Jenkins. He can rush the passer. He can help against the run. All of those things. But Malcolm Jenkins is 34 years old, and Tyrann is 30 years old. You're getting the same player 4 years younger. So if you were happy to have Malcolm Jenkins, you should be happier to have Tyrann Mathieu. Same player, 4 years younger. Fresher legs. Yes, please. The other thing I'll tell you about Tyrann is, early in his career, he was injury prone. That is a fair criticism of Tyrann Mathieu early in his career. Through his first 4 years in the NFL, Tyrann Mathieu never played a full season and missed 14 games. We know he had the ACL injury. Early in his career, Tyrann Mathieu was injury prone. In the last 5 seasons, he has missed a total of 2 games. 1 each of the last 2 seasons. You're talking about a guy who kicked that label early in his career, has been durable. What do they say? The best ability is availability. He has been available, he has been durable, and he has been downright dominant at times in his professional career. Maybe the thing, though, and the similarity with Malcolm Jenkins that I like the most about this is the C he wears on his chest. You're not just bringing in a veteran player. You're bringing in someone who is an undeniable elite locker room guy who also is elite on the field. You got a guy that's a heartbeat of a defense guy. Use whatever cliche you want to use. You know them all. That's Tyrann. And we know that. And he's going to be phenomenal for the locker room. But what you lost in veteran leadership with Malcolm Jenkins' retirement, you probably even elevated it bringing in Tyrann Mathieu. Malcolm Jenkins is a 2-time Super Bowl champion. Tyrann's won a Super Bowl. He's played in 2, won one of them. He's been a team captain. He's been an All-Pro. He's been NFL All-Decade team. He's a guy that all of these young dudes, these young professionals can line up behind and follow his lead. And I love that. Not only do you get a great player, you got a great locker room guy, and a dude that expects to win and wants to win now. So if you ask me, would I rather 30-year-old Tyrann Mathieu and Marcus May or Marcus Williams and 34-year-old Malcolm Jenkins, I would take the 2 new safeties. There's a bit of the unknown, I'll grant you. But a healthy Marcus May and a younger Tyrann Mathieu, I think, is a better tandem than Marcus Williams and 34-year-old Malcolm Jenkins. So I wouldn't argue that it's a good thing losing both of your starting safeties, but I also think the Saints have done about as good as you could possibly hope replacing those 2 guys with 2 really good starters that are, quite honestly, probably in tandem an upgrade over what you had. Huge day. Tyrann Mathieu, he's a New Orleans Saint. 3-year, $33 million contract, $18 million fully guaranteed. They'll put pen to paper, I would assume, tomorrow when the NFL compensatory pick formula is no longer in play after today. So that's when I'm sure they'll actually put pen to paper and make it official. But terms of the deal are out. Tyrann Mathieu is coming home. He'll be a member of the New Orleans Saints. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.